and Colonel Gorkowski for joining us today. The State Department's Bureau of International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs developed the P4000 initiative to quickly train, recruit, and equip new Haitian national policy officers. And I know Ambassador Kozak, you touched on this, so thank you for that. And I believe last fall, the program officially began training new Haitian national policy officers to combat armed gangs. Colonel Gorkowski, this mission's end state is a Haiti that can secure itself. Today, only 100 Haitian police officers do most of the fighting. The P4000 program is actively striving to train more, I understand. So what do you think is a realistic timeline for Haitian forces to take the lead, and what more do they need from us to get there?
Thanks for that question, Congresswoman. And this is an important one because this dictates our exit criteria for the gang suppression force. So I can't emphasize this enough. The INL-supported P4000 program has been an extensive time multiplier in growing these forces. Not only are we growing the size of the forces, but they have changed the instruction to be more applicable not to disasters or things like this, but to the counter-gang operations they are conducting. To date, they have over 2,000 personnel who have gone through this, and by March of 27, that will be a 40% increase, 4,000 new security force personnel. So by the end of 2026, we should see an HNP number. The ambassador mentioned the total number around 14,000, but it's really only about 6,000 prior to P4000 who were coming to work every day. So by the end of 2026, we should have about 8,000 Haitian National Police, in addition to 2,000 FOD, Haitian military personnel. 2027 projections are around 10,000 Haitian police, and by 2028, we're looking at 13,000. So combined security forces, Haitian and military, by 2028, we're looking at about 19,000. Well, that begs the question, how many do we need? Mm-hmm. And if you add in the gang suppression force, of course, you augment those numbers a little bit. In peacetime scenarios, academic figures and doctrinal figures state that you need about 2.8 security force personnel per 1,000 people. So for Haiti, that's about 30,000 personnel, over 30,000 personnel. If you combined Haitian National Police and military personnel without the gang suppression force, we're probably looking somewhere 2029, but that's, again, without the gang suppression force. Not saying the gang suppression force needs to stay there that long, but that's the point at which Haiti will have some numbers able to secure themselves. There's also the issue of quality, right? Quantity and quality. We need folks who can, of course, be present, but also those who can do the job effectively and not contribute to a deteriorating security situation.
Thank you very much. Ambassador Kozak, the State Department has played a central role in supporting the gang suppression force through diplomatic engagement with partner nations and the United Nations. So what specific diplomatic steps has the Bureau of Western Hemisphere Affairs taken to secure and sustain contributions from these partner countries? And how are you addressing any gaps in participation or logistical challenges from international contributors?
So the question was about contributions to the force. I think there are two types here. One is as we mentioned in testimony, the logistics are being done through assessed contributions in the UN system. So the U.S. gets stuck with like 25% of that because that's our share of UN assessed contributions, but other UN members then are picking up the other 75% of the logistics. The pay, like for the salaries of the personnel and so on, is voluntary contributions. And we've had really very good response on that. Some of our colleagues in the standing group of partners, and particularly Canada, has taken on the job of urging others to contribute finances to that. And we've had contributions from Canada, from the Dominican Republic, Germany, France, Qatar. So there's a wide variety of countries that aren't part of the force that are contributing to that. And I think we have a fairly robust 117 million or something in that fund right now. So that's been the effort, and so far it's been quite successful.
Great. Well, thank you. My time's up. I yield back.
Representative Barra.
Thank you, Mr.